Hey y'all, welcome back. So today we will be making these yummy vegan cheesecake Biscoff bars. Listen, ooh, they so good. So let's get into it. So I'm starting off with the Biscoff cookies. Did y'all know that these were vegan? I'm telling you that they are. You could Google it, okay? Fact check it. Anywho, we're going to take some Biscoff cookies and I'm just going to take a random amount and I'm going to put them into a bag so that we can crush them because we are going to be using these cookies for the crust. Now, if you have a better way of crushing these, by all means use that method, but this was the easiest method I could come up with my head. Is to basically, take a spoon and put them in a bag and crush them. So that's what we'll be doing today. We're going to go ahead and crush these all the way down until they are crumbs again, so we can use these for the crust. Once they are completely crushed, you want to go ahead and use 1.5 cups, and remember, as always, the measurements will be listed down in the description. We're also going to be putting in some butter and we're going to give that a stir, and we're going to mix this all the way in until it becomes kind of like a dough, almost like a pie crust. But you want to just keep mixing until everything is nice and moist and does have butter on it. So if you do have some bigger chunks, you can just take your spatula or whatever you're using to mix and just go ahead and crush them on down into some crumbs. And we're just going to continue this until everything is completely mixed. Next, in our pan with some wax paper, we're going to go ahead and put the crust into it. Now, if you have a smaller pan that you like to use, then by all means do that. But this is like almost the smallest pan that I have for this particular size. But anywho, we're going to go ahead and smush the crust down and go ahead and make it flat and all together in the shape of a square, or you can shape whatever shape you'd like your bars in. But this is what we're going to do to go ahead and just crush out the crust. Baby, now here is where everything is going to get a bit spicy. Okay, so I do not have an electric mixer, so I decided to go ahead and just use my food processor. If you have an electric mixer, you could definitely use that, but this is what we'll be using for today. So I am just going to go ahead and pop my ingredients in there. I'm going to be using some vegan cream cheese, some coconut cream, lemon juice, vanilla extract. I did decide on 2 types of sugar, so I will be using some cane sugar and also some coconut sugar. Of course, you can always substitute one for the other. I'm also going to be using some cornstarch. Remember, the measurements are listed down in the description. Anywho, when we have all of the ingredients in the food processor, you want to go ahead and put on the top and give it a nice blend. Once everything is blended, we are going to go ahead and pour this on top of the crust. Now, I know my crust doesn't reach from edge to edge on my pan, y'all, so it is going to have like a little bit of cheesecake left over, but that's okay because we're going to make it work, make it twerk, as we always do. And then we're going to go ahead and pop this into the oven on 350 for about 50 minutes until it gets golden brown. And listen, do not open the oven door while this is cooking. You want it to fully cook. Just peep in on it with your oven light. And after about 50 minutes, this is how it's going to look. I know it looks kind of weird, it looks dark, whatever, but you want to give that about 15 minutes to rest on the stove and then pop it in the refrigerator overnight. And the next day, we are going to go ahead and make our strawberry filling. So I am taking about 1.5 cups of strawberries, and I'm just giving them a nice chop, and you can cut these however small or however large you would like, but I am going to be using about 1.5 cups. Next, we're going to go ahead and put those into the pan. We're going to add some lemon juice. We're going to add some cornstarch. We're also going to add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of water. And I am using 2 different sugars. Again, here I'm going to be using the coconut sugar and also the cane sugar. But of course, always use what you like, okay? So we're going to go ahead and allow this to cook down. And y'all, don't cook this too fast because it can burn on the skillet, and we don't want that. So have it on about a 3. Like a kind of low medium, if you will. But once it starts to bubble, you want to just keep stirring it until it gets very thick to your liking. It doesn't have to be a certain thick, but just kind of like when the liquid forms a jelly. Once it is done down to your liking, you want to go ahead and pop that into a container, put a top on it, and then put it in the fridge to allow it to cool. And next, let's get to work on this cheesecake. Okay, this is how it looks after last night of us baking it and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the parchment paper off of it. Now, this cheesecake I thought was going to actually be too wet or liquidy because I did use more coconut cream than I did cream cheese, which I thought it was the perfect ratio because I like a soft, moist cheesecake, almost like a mousse, but of course that's going to be totally up to you. So we're just going to remove the parchment paper and give it a flip, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it into the bars. Of course you can see a part of mine broke, but that's always okay because you can cut them into whatever shape your heart desires. Okay, so I'm just going to cut them into some little small bite-sized bars, and the little broke end, baby, we gonna make that work and just cut it into whatever slices we can with that. Once they're cut into slices, we're going to go ahead and carve out the middle. Listen, I know we wasting cheesecake, but you can kind of eat this, you know, put it to the side and eat it later if you like. But we're going to carve out the middle. The spoon was a little bit too big, so I decided to use a butter knife, and it was actually perfect. So you can make these indentions however big or however small you like, depending on how much strawberry filling you like in the middle. But you want to go ahead and just carve out the middle of every little bar. Once you have all of them carved out in the middle, we're going to go ahead and add that strawberry filling. Okay, this is the yummy part. Listen, we almost done. Okay, so you want to go ahead and put the filling in each and every one of those. Now, one thing that is definitely optional that I kind of wish I would have done now is to melt some vegan white chocolate and put it across the top of these, kind of like the old-fashioned cheesecake bars that I used to eat when I was growing up. But I didn't get any white chocolate from the store, y'all, so I decided to go ahead and just sprinkle some of the crushed Biscoff cookies across the top, and that was actually a great idea as well because, baby, they was delicious. As always, y'all, comment down below. Let me know if you're going to try this recipe. These were so delicious. My baby loved them as well. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.